Hi everyone, welcome to this session where we discuss the news that is relevant for your competitive examination that you should know as an aware citizen. A lot has to be discussed. It's the beginning of the month. We are entering the new month, that is August. So let's see what are the important news on 1st August. Starting news, of course, has to be the most burning issue, the atrocities and the horrors that are going on in the northeastern state of Manipur. The Supreme Court has said to Manipur to give them complete breakdown of around 6,000 FIRs that were registered. The Supreme Court has said that we need a complete breakdown of approximately 6,000 first information reports, that is FIRs, that the Manipur government is said to have registered during the ethnic clashes, which included cases of murder, cases of rape, cases of arson, cases of crime against women, and even burning of villages and homes and places of worship. So multiple FIRs were registered, and Supreme Court is asking, where is the record? Give us the complete breakdown of which FIR was registered where, pertaining to these different cases. So the court has proposed that they will appoint its own special investigating team, and the bench was surprised to find that the center and as well as the Manipur government, that is the state government, they are groping in the dark for facts about crimes which are of course public knowledge, reported widely in the national media. If you have been in the social media or if you have been watching news, you must have come across this news several times about how the women in Manipur were paraded naked and the things like that. Also, the Supreme Court has observed that it is not an excuse for violence against Manipur women, this also happens in other states. So the Supreme Court has said that the sexual violence that is committed against women in Manipur cannot be excused on the ground that crime happened to women in other parts of the country also. So that is not something that could be entertained. The court suggested that will constitute a separate high powered committee of neutral persons. There is a great need in Manipur to administer a healing touch to restore a sense of faith in the administration, because the violence is continuing unabated. The highest court has a deep concern and will send such officers and judges who are not politically aligned to give us a dispassionate view of what is happening on the ground in Manipur. So the Chief Justice of India said that we have to rebuild lives in Manipur. Again, same issue, that there cannot be any excuse for such violence. So Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud observed that there are crimes taking place against women. However, in Manipur, we are dealing with something which is of an unprecedented magnitude. So this is something, in fact, it was compared that it is much worse than even the rape cases that we have heard, even the most atrocious of rape cases that have happened. So he said that they are all daughters of India. Here Ms. Swaraj submitted that they are all daughters of India, and the only difference is undoubtedly that there are crimes taking place against women all over the country. That is part of our social reality. However, in Manipur, we are dealing with something which is of an unprecedented magnitude, mainly crimes and the perpetration of violence in a situation of communal and sectarian strife. That was observed by Chief Justice of India. In another case, it was held that the interest of national security from defense perspective is more important and it trumps over the public interest. So essentially the case was that there was a tender that had gone to a private company having a consortium agreement with a Chinese company, which is contrary to the union government's restriction, which is imposed on bidders from countries sharing land borders with India. So in this case, it was held that since it's a matter of national security, the agreement, the tender, that is not of priority, but the national security has to be seen over this public interest. There was a plea in the court, in the Delhi High Court, that there should be a total ban on cow slaughter, but the Delhi High Court declined a plea that seeked this, and said that this can happen only through the legislature. So a bench of Justice Satish Chandra Sharma and Justice Sanjeev Narula, while they were hearing a PIL, noted that there is already a ban on cow slaughter in the national capital through a law enacted by the Delhi government. The Supreme Court has observed that only a competent legislature can decide such questions arising in relation to the prohibition on the slaughter of cow and its progeny. So the High Court said that, adding that the judiciary cannot compel the legislature to promulgate any particular legislation. So it's ultimately the legislature, the state legislature or the parliament has to come up with a law regarding that. There is a case of a former judge who was criticized for her ruling in a POXO case, and she has now moved the Bombay High Court seeking pension. Now the controversy was this Miss Ganedi Wala. She came to highlight back in for a ruling in 2021, January of 2021, and she acquitted a man under POXO Act. It was held that an act against a minor would amount to groping or sexual assault only when there was a skin-to-skin contact, and mere touching or pressing of a clothed body of a child did not amount to sexual assault. So this was very controversial, and there was a lot of criticism against this order. So she had filed a plea before the Nagpur bench of the High Court, challenging a communication issue by the High Court registry, and it had declared that she was not eligible or entitled for pension of a judge and other benefits. Very important news regarding Uniform Civil Code, which has been in discussion for a while now. So there have been a deadline for public suggestions on Uniform Civil Code, and the deadline ended on 28th July. Now the Law Commission said that it will hold group discussions with people and communities, stakeholders across the country to seek their inputs, to seek their opinion on Uniform Civil Code. Bhopal disaster is still in news even after so many years. So there is this, the National Green Tribunal had given directions to that around 337 metric tons of hazardous waste stored on the Union Carbide India Limited premises, which is the site of the 1984 Bhopal gas tragedy, that has to be disposed of. But that is yet to be disposed of. So it's still there. Now the panel headed by Environment Minister proposed 126 crore rupees to the Madhya Pradesh government for disposal of the waste, according to the CPCB report. NGT had in March 22 ordered government to take action within 6 months, but is still pending. Delhi Services Bill is likely to be tabled today in Lok Sabha. So as you know that there is a bill to replace the Delhi Services Ordinance that will be introduced in the Lok Sabha today. The Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Act 2023. This bill seeks to designate the Lieutenant Governor as the authority with a final say on the postings and transfers of all the bureaucratic servings under the Delhi government. Now it remains to be seen how it turns out. We have Mr. Apurva Chandra, who now gets the additional charge of DOT, that is Department of Telecommunications. So the appointment committee of the cabinet said, in a memorandum on Monday, that this Apurva Chandra will be the gets additional charge of DOT. Also in the Information and Broadcasting INB Ministry, it has been given authority over online advertisement. So the amendment to the Allocation of Business Rules 1961, it places online advertisements under the purview of the INB Ministry. The ministry was already looking at the online advertising, most notably through circulars in 2022, warning TV channels as well as OTT streaming services to stay clear of ads from betting and gambling firms. We also have another bill here, that is cinematograph bill, that is aimed at curbing piracy, that has been cleared by Lok Sabha. So this bill, the Lok Sabha passed the Cinematograph Amendment Bill 2023 after the draft law was cleared by Rajya Sabha. The bill provides for fining and imprisoning people who record movies inside theaters. It also expands the number of age ratings which are available to the Central Board of Film Certification, that is CBFC. Good news coming from ISRO. It has successfully put Chandrayaan-3 in translunar orbit. That is to say, it performed the translunar interjection to slingshot Chandrayaan-3 towards the moon early on Tuesday. The TLI, that is the translunar injection, was performed successfully from ISRO Telemetry Tracking and Command Network ISTRAC in Bengaluru. Bombing in Pakistan. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for bombing in Pakistan, and the toll rises to 54 in that suicide blast. So there was a political convention in Pakistan where this blast happened. It injured more than 100 people in car. Over 500 people were present during the time of the blast. JUIF, whose rally was targeted, is part of the coalition government of Shehbaz Sharif. From Myanmar, the Myanmar Junta government has extended the state of emergency for 6 months. So of course there will be delay in the polling. Now, as you might be aware that there has been the Myanmar has been ravaged by deadly violence since a coup deposed Aung San Suu Kyi's government more than 2 years ago. So that unleashed a bloody crackdown on dissent, and now we have the state of emergency, which is now being extended for 6 more months. China and Pakistan are having agreements. They inked 6 agreements to help undertake the second phase of a $60 billion China-Pakistan economic corridor project under a new model. India's core sector at 8.2%, it touches the 5-month high in June. So 7 of the 8 core sectors registered an uptick in the month. These constitute 40.3% of the index of industrial production. As far as fiscal deficit is concerned, when we say fiscal deficit, that means the gap between the expenditure and the revenue. That has touched a 25.3% of full year target in April and June as per the Comptroller and Auditor General report. Coming to GST evasion amount, so 2.68 lakh crore rupees has been detected as the GST evasion amount between financial year 21 and financial year 24. United States is the biggest export market for India-made smartphones as per government data. So India exported 2.43 billion worth of smartphones in April-May this fiscal, driven by a multifold jump in the shipments to the US, which emerged as the biggest destination for India-made devices according to the data. In sports, we have Bedabrat Bharali, who got India its second gold medal in the competition with a 273 kg lift in the men's 67 kg youth category on day 4 of the Asian Junior Youth Weightlifting Championship, which was held at Greater Noida. That's all for right now. Thank you so much. See you in the next session with more set of news. Till then, stay updated, keep reading newspaper. All the best. See you in the next session.